It is another episode of the Peak Signing Agents Podcast, where I'm your host, DVO Derek Van Alten. I help you become a peak notary signing agent that you are meant to be. Thank you for tuning in once again to another episode. I have some food for thought thought I would share with all of you, and I hope it makes sense, and I hope it brings value to you. I'm going to speak on a topic from a few different angles, and I hope all these angles resonate to make you the best notary and signing agent you can be, so you can bring tons of value to the people and to the ones that hire us. So my topic is, and what I want to talk about is how hard it is to acquire new clients, and also how much harder it is to keep said clients. So think about this for a minute. As mobile notaries, as signing agents, it's hard to get new business. It's hard to acquire new clients. Whether it's signing up direct with signing services, whether it's going out there and marketing yourself directly to real estate professionals like real estate agents, loan officers, escrow title officers, it's hard to go out there. It's hard to muster up the courage to finally say, yes, I'm going to call all these signing services. I'm going to walk into all these title offices. I'm going to market myself. It's hard to muster up the courage to do that. And then when you do it, when it's finally time to do it, and you get out there and you put yourself out there, first of all, I want to say I'm proud of you for doing that. I'm proud of you for calling and contacting and reaching out and popping in to offices or signing services, reaching out to them, right? First of all, I want to say I'm proud of you for doing that. It takes guts. And that means you're risking and taking a gamble on yourself, as you should. And once you get out there, right, you're not always going to get them the first time. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you get them the first time you walk in. Sometimes you don't. You have to do a little bit of follow-up and go in again and reach out to them again and reintroduce yourself. Even though you already went in there, and you'll have to do it again sometimes, right? It's hard to acquire them. And then it's harder to even keep them, because you need to continuously bring good service. Because if they get one complaint about you, maybe the real estate agent was there during the closing, or maybe they were on the call during the closing, maybe the loan officer, if they just felt like you didn't know what you were doing, they'll drop you. If they feel like they could lose their client, they'll drop you. It's hard to get those clients. You have to continue to provide great service so they keep you. You need to stay top of mind when they think of a notary. So it's hard to acquire these clients, and it's even harder to keep them. Lately, just to give you a little update of what I've been doing, I've just been popping by some of my offices, just telling them, hey, I've been thinking about you, and I just thought I'd come in and say hi. I have nothing in hand. I didn't bring drinks. I didn't bring donuts. I didn't bring anything. I just walked in and say, I've been thinking about you, and I wanted to come in and say hi. How's everything going? How's business going? How's the family doing? Let's get personal. How's the family doing? How are the kids? Are they still in soccer? Are they still mountain biking? What are they up to? How's your spouse doing? I've been following you guys on social media. Looks like you've been having some fun. That's fantastic. Is there anything else I can do to help? Is there anything else I can do to provide service for you? What else can I do? I'm asking these questions to my clients. I'm going in and seeing them. I want to keep them, my clients. I want to say, because I personally am not doing as many signings. I'm hiring out. My signing service is growing. I'm hiring out. I feel bad sometimes I'm not doing the signings personally. And so I just want to keep that relationship going. I want to keep that relationship strong. Because it's easy if I'm just always, if my scheduler is the only one that's contacting my clients, like responding to emails, letting them know the signing's done, and I'm just kind of hands off, it's easy to forget about me. And I'm the one that started off, I have to remember, I started off as their mobile notary, as their signing agent. And we had a great relationship. And then when I'm not doing as much, that's what's going to happen to you. If you plan on starting a signing service, eventually you're going to be less speaking with them, less talking to them. And that's hard because they're my friends. So I am, keeping these relationships. And so I just want to talk about that, but I want to talk about it from different angles. All right. So signing service owner friends, just remember, keep those relationships strong with your clients. Go in. I'm not opposed to bringing them something. I do still bring them in something, like some type of appreciation, some type of gratitude, and to show them that. But I also just want to go in sometimes and just come in and just say, I was just thinking about you. I went in this past Friday with my 4-year-old. I picked her up from school. We were going to lunch. I said, hey, before we go to lunch, we need to go visit some of Dad's offices. And I just walked in. I brought her, and they, obviously they had a blast with her because she says funny things. If you've been around a 4-year-old, they say funny things. She says lots of funny things. And so they're laughing with her, and they're giving her treats, if you go in a title office, they have closing treats like chips and things like that. And they're offering her treats, and they're just asking her what's her plan with her dad today. And she said, we're going to go get lunch. And I just said, hey, guys, I just was thinking about you guys. I just wanted to come in and say hi. I just picked her up from school, and your office was on my way. I just wanted to say hi. Their office was not on my way, by the way. I had been thinking about them. I wanted to go in and say hi. So I just went in to say hi. And I asked them, is there anything else I can do? Is there any other way we can provide great service? They just said, no, you have been fantastic. Your team is fantastic. We appreciate everything you do. And that's it. I was there for 10 minutes. So keep those relationships. And if I was working with a signing service a lot, I would just call up the signing service. Just, hey, I've been thinking about you. I appreciate all the business you've given me. I just got my recent, payment from you, and I just want to say thank you. And I'm very appreciative. Is there anything I can do? Is there anything better I can provide of service? Is there anything I can do better? Is there anything else I can do to help you? I would ask this question. Most likely the answer will be no. But just the reaching out, it's appreciated. It really is. Okay. So I just wanted to share that aspect. And then again, like I said, coming from a few different angles, like I said, it's hard to acquire these new clients, and it's even harder to keep them. And it's easy to mess up a relationship and you lose that business. So, I want you guys to think about this as signing service owners. You want to keep those relationships strong. You want to keep strong relationships because it's easy to quit on somebody. It's harder to quit on a friend. And if you build strong relationships with your clients, it's harder for them to quit on you. And it's harder for you to quit on them. You want to keep providing them great service. Now let's talk about it from a signing agent perspective. It is so easy for a signing agent to make one little mistake. They didn't notarize a deed of any sort. And now it's not funding. It's late. It's not going to fund on time. And you're doing this for a signing service who has a client that's a title company, whose client is a mortgage company. And they can say, we never want you to work with this notary service again. They are terrible. And it could just be they're speaking from emotion of a one-time incident. They're speaking from emotion saying, never work with this notary service again. And they're going to do what their client says. They will drop a signing service. No matter how much they love a signing service. I've heard stories. I'm so thankful it hasn't happened to me yet. It might. I hope it never does. Because I try to be very proactive on mistakes. But it could happen. I've heard of it happening. I've had signing service owner friends say they had their title company reach out to them and just say, we don't want to do this, but we have to do this. We are told by our manager, we are told by our client, the loan officer, we can't use you anymore. And they're going to do what their client says. It's so easy for a signing agent to mess up that relationship, whether it's on purpose or not. I have a signing service owner friend who's going right now through a situation. Documents were signed Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon. They weren't dropped off. Friday comes around. They're calling up the notary saying, where's the documents? Notary's not responding. They're texting the notary. They see that the notary has read the text, but the notary is not responding. Saturday, they're reaching out again. You know what they did, the signing service? They called the police and requested a wellness welfare check. Basically, just make sure everything's okay because they're sitting on very important documents. And at that point, if you're sitting on documents and everything's filled out and signed, there might be some legal action that might come up upon you. We're all kind of hoping that the notary, I don't know, because, you know, my mind goes to, are they in jail? Did they have an accident? Are they in trouble? You know, my mind goes there. Are they in the hospital? But they reached out to hospitals. No patient by that name in the hospitals. So they're being the signing service is being proactive here. And they called the police to do a welfare wellness check. And they went to the house and no one was there at the house. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But with a situation like this, if this is very important, they needed documents back on Friday. And Saturday rolls around and documents still haven't been dropped. And then Monday comes around and they don't have documents yet. And they have to hire a new notary and explain to the client what happened. Hey, the notary that came out to you, they still have the documents. We don't know what's going on with that. They have to now explain that to the client. Hey, I don't know what happened, but that notary that has your documents, that signed your documents with you, they are still sitting on your documents for whatever reason. The title company and the lender have to now explain that to the signers, have them re-sign everything. They don't trust them. The clients are not going to trust them anymore. I hope my friend, the signing service owner, does not lose a client because of this, but they can. They could easily lose a client over this. It's a big damn deal. Our jobs are very important. And so from a different perspective, like I said, like I've talked about before, it's easy for us to put ourselves in these bubbles where we are the notary. We kind of think about ourselves a lot. And so we think easily about ourselves, like, I don't want to lose this client. I have it direct now. I don't want to lose that. But then we still pick up jobs from signing service. We have to think about them as well. They could lose their client. We're an extension of the signing service. And if you work direct, you're the extension of the title company, the escrow company, the loan officer. You're extension of all that. You're the closer. And so it's important to remember that, coming from different angles. You know, I want you to look at different perspectives of how we impact the industry. We're a big part of it. We're the closers. We're a big part of the industry. And we have to sometimes remember that. And so that's why I'm speaking from different angles for all of us. But yeah, it's important that we think about that. It's important we keep our clients. And it's important that we help our clients keep their clients. Does that make sense? So if we're working for a signing service, it's important that we help keep that client for them. That we're doing the best job, that we're professional. We're not rushing. We're not making them feel uncomfortable. We're making them feel excited about this, what they're doing, whether they're selling a home and getting money, whether they're buying home for the first time, whether they're refinancing because they have a big project they're doing with the cash out, or they're going to save on their interest rate. They're so happy to alleviate some financial stress because they're going to have a lower payment maybe. I don't know, but we're a big part of it. And so I just want you to think about that. And as you acquire your clients, whether they're signing services or title companies or mortgage companies or real estate offices, that you keep that relationship strong. You always provide great service. And don't get comfortable. It's easy to get comfortable. I admit I've been comfortable. I've been comfortable before. And it happens, all right? It happens, but we can't fall into that. We have to always provide great service because the person we're sitting down with, this is maybe their first time selling a home, first time buying a home, first time refinancing. This could be that for them. We always want to bring our best service. Sometimes when I'm sitting down with a first time home buyer, I'm reminded of that. And I just go in a little bit more detail on some of the documents, talking about the amortization schedule, talking about the private mortgage insurance and how they can get rid of it. I take a little bit more time on those, talking about how their escrow is covered and paid for. Because they're the first-time home buyer, they're not familiar with that. So I like to walk. It's a great reminder when I'm with first-time home buyers. I take my time a little bit more. When I do refinances, you know, sometimes I go pretty quick through those because they already live in the house. They're just refinancing it. They just want cash out or something. And so Yeah, we don't get comfortable. Always think about providing great service, keeping our clients happy. So I just want you to all kind of think about that for a little bit. Just the roles we play as a signing agent, as signing service owners, working for another company, being hired by another company. And just think, wow, the job I do can affect them. As a signing agent, the job you do can affect the signing service. You could get them fired. They will fire you. Right? I could work with a notary for the first time. In fact, my signing service owner friend, this is their first time working with this notary. Their very first time working with them. They've never worked with them before. And they could lose a client because of this one notary. That's sad to think about. I don't know what the relationship is like. This could have been a brand new client maybe. Who knows? But they could just easily just tell the title company that hired the signing service, say, don't ever use this company again. I almost had that situation, actually. Even though I said it's never happened to me, because it's almost happened. I had a Florida client, and this is something I didn't know about. I think maybe I've mentioned it here. But Florida, if you didn't know, some of their properties require witnesses on the deed. And a new law or a rule, I don't know what you'd call it, but something passed recently where on the witness, the witness signs, the witness prints their name, and the witness puts their address. The witness is supposed to put their whole entire address, including the city, state, and zip code. And I had my Florida client, my Florida title company. We were hiring a California signing agent. The California signing agent just put their addresses of just the street, right? The house number and the street name. That was it. Didn't put the city, state, zip code, nothing like that. And title company didn't catch it. It's a new rule, so they didn't really catch it. And it went to the county. The county denied it. Said, you need to get this done properly. And their client, and I'm not sure from what angle was told that, but they were basically saying, don't use this notary service again. And my client said, we don't want to do that. You do a great job for us and we don't want to lose you. So we're just asking you to kind of help on this. Can you pay for another notary or pay for the notary to go back out there and do the witness page again? Can you pay to ship it back to us? So we're not going to provide you another UPS label. We're not going to pay you to send someone out again. We're just asking if you can do that for us so we can keep you. And I said, yeah, of course, I'll do that. So I paid another notary to go out there because the notary I originally hired was actually out of town. They would have loved to have done it. They just were out of town. I had to hire another notary to go out there. We had to call the client and say, sorry, we have to do this one page again because this is how it needs to be filled out. They didn't mind, actually. And then I had to pay for a shipping label so they could ship it out. Or ship it back to the title company. So I had to pay out of pocket for all this. Right, so I lost money on this. But that's okay. I'll lose money for one transaction if I'm going to keep getting lots and lots of transactions from the client. But that was a mistake, just I think most notaries would have put a full address anyway, but I don't know. It wasn't that big of a deal. But with this that I'm talking about over this past weekend, this is a big deal for my friend, and I feel terrible that she's going through this. What a bad situation. In fact, she even was asking, "Hey, have any of you worked with this signing agent before? Have any of you reached out to them or talked to them or hired them? Just so this is the situation I'm dealing with." And if you, the signing service owner. Other signing service owners said, do you want us to try to call? Maybe they're just ignoring you, but maybe we can try to get a hold of them. And, they're just trying to call like, hey, we're so-and-so with, this is Derek with, I didn't call, but let's just say, for example, they said, hey, this is Derek with Peak Signing and just looking for this individual. Are you them? Hey, by the way, do you have documents? I don't know what, I didn't volunteer to call, others did. But awesome for them to do that. But hey, you know what? I now know this signing agent who's doing this, and do you think I want to work with this signing agent? Absolutely not. I would never hire this signing agent for this reason. Again, I don't know the situation. Maybe they're in the hospital. Maybe they're hurt. I don't know. But I don't want to take the risk. So I'll never hire them. They're blacklisted on my platform. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you. It's so hard to acquire clients. I'll give you another example. I had one of my clients tell me how one of the notaries I hired, I don't know what happened, but they kind of felt like the notary. Oh, I remember what it was. So what the notary did was, for their journal, they wanted to enter every page that was going to be notarized. So they had an electronic journal app. So every time they were going to do something, they kept marking on their phone. Oh, deed of trust, mark. Occupancy, marked. Financial statement, mark. Compliance, mark. So they kept going back to the phone to mark every single page that was going to be notarized. And the real estate agent was in the signing, and they're thinking, why is this notary always on their phone? They don't know what the notary is doing. So the real estate agent complained to the title company and said, everything was fine, just the notary kept looking at their phone. That's what it looked like. And so now the title company calls me and says, what's up with your notary always looking at their phone? I'm like, great question. Let me find out. And he's telling me what he's doing. I'm like, oh, dude, don't do that. Like, could you write it down on a piece of paper or something instead of pulling up your phone every time and marking in your notary journal what pages you're going to be notarizing? Like, it looks like you're on your phone. He's like, oh, I didn't think about that. And so that's what happens, right? We get in our own little world and we don't think about how it affects others. Now he knows that. He never does that again when I hire him. He now has a little piece of paper, and the reason why is because he didn't have the documents ahead of time. It was at the title company. He walked in, the documents were there. So he didn't have time to really prep it beforehand. But we have to think about how our actions are looked upon, how they're reflected. Okay? Because my client, the title company was telling me, they said, Derek, it's so hard for us to get these real estate agents to use us. And anything like that could affect our relationship. Right? They could have been trying to work with this real estate agent for months, maybe. They've been probably going to networking events, holding continuing education courses. And they finally say, okay, we're going to give you a shot. All right, title company, we're going to give you a shot. I have a closing. We're going to use you. And then the notary's there at the title company, documents in hand saying, all right, let me see your IDs. And then as they're going through the documents, the notary keeps pulling up their phone. And it looks like they're maybe answering a text message or answering an email. That's what it looks like to them, right? They don't know they're doing an electronic journal. And so what I'm saying is, always think about what you're doing. What are you doing? How is that reflecting? Are you reflecting positively for the signing service, for the title company, for the mortgage company, for the real estate agent? Are you reflecting positively for everyone involved? That's really what I'm trying to convey to everyone, how our actions can implement a lot of things. And when my client told me that, I would never have done that. But when my client told me that, I'm like, yeah, I get what you're saying. And thank you for sharing with me how hard it is to get these clients, because sometimes I forget that too. I forget how hard it is for the title company to get new real estate agents to use them. That's why they hold these classes at their offices. That's why they hold these continuing education. This office that I'm talking about, this title company, I just was at their office because they were doing a Chat GPT training, and they were showing real estate agents how they can use Chat GPT AI for their listings, for their email generators, things like that. And they do continuing education courses. They do all these different type of courses to help real estate officers. And I go there sometimes too, just to have to be a presence and offer to bring things. They're working hard to acquire these new clients, and it's even harder to keep them because they're always getting offered by so many title companies. Hey, we'll do this for you. We'll do that for you. We'll beat this price. We'll be lowering their fees. Like, they're trying to do so much to acquire new clients, and we can mess that up. Okay? I just want to share that with you. But if you're listening to this podcast, that means you have the right state of mind. That means you are always trying to help. If you got value from this, please hit subscribe, hit follow on the podcast or on YouTube. Share someone with about it. I'm so grateful that almost every day I'm getting notifications that new people are subscribing. That means a lot to me. Thank you. People tag me and post like, hey, you should listen to Derek's podcast. He has an episode about this question you're having. I get tagged, and I'm so appreciative of that. And I just appreciate all of you listening. We're getting on to 100 episodes coming up soon. I'm excited. So stick around for the ride. I got much more great topics coming up. And keep doing the best job you can do. I know it's hard out there sometimes. I know you're working hard, and sometimes it feels like it's not paying off. But you keep putting in the work, okay? Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. I'm not giving up on you. Don't give up on yourself. Keep putting in the work. It's paying off. It's going to pay off. The due diligence, it's going to be seen by others. All right, keep putting the work in. You're awesome. I know you're awesome. You know you're awesome. Keep being awesome. I'll catch you next episode, all right? Take care. Bye.